Hey everybody, Bruce back here for part 9 of Kiara's Pizza. In the last movie, I showed you how I fixed a little bug that I had, and I also showed you how we added the cancel button down here for both the update and the create, right? The cancel, it's actually a link, not a button. And then I showed you one other thing where I added some margin on the bottom here because I didn't like the cancel and the save updated order, right? Stuff like button up, kissing the bottom of the browser. So I gave it some margin on the bottom, all right? So now we need to deal with updating a record, right? So when I hit save now, it says we need to update the order, right? So I'm gonna skip over validation because remember, we also have to revalidate that the user didn't leave like the name blank like I did under your name, right? So we'll come back to that, but let me finish the update for you, all right? Or at least attempt to, all right? So I'm gonna go back to the update order, and this is the page right here, and this is where the script I left off, right? And remember, when I clicked on update, right? So let me go here and click on update. Notice how in the URL we have an ID query parameter set to the ID of the record, right? This is where we left off, right? So we were able to get that ID, right? And now we need to do something, right? We need to be able to update that order, right? So we need to be able to update that order on a post, right? So let's comment this out for a second. And now we need to perform an update, right? So let's piece this together, right? Let's piece this together. I need the values from the form in order to do this. I need the info from the form. So believe it or not, I'm going to go back to the process Inc. page, and this is where I grabbed all of the information. In fact, let's just do this. Let's grab all this stuff. This is what we did and used for creating the order. Let's just take it right now and copy it. And let's go back to the update order, right? And let's just paste this in here for a second. Now, when I do this, it's going to grab all the information. Remember, it used an error bucket. So if I go up here and not right there, but right here outside, if I say error bucket equals an empty array, so I got that, right, in case I need it. And I'm going to get all of the field values. I got the ID from the URL, the pizza type, the quantity, the payment method, the state, right, all this stuff. But I also need for the update. Now, I don't know if you remember this. We did add a field to the form. Let me go back there. Form. And do you remember we added a, where are you? Let's see, zip, payment, cash, credit. Right down here on line 62. We did add something to the form, a hidden field called ID, right? Because remember, when we click on post for the update order, we're not going to have that ID in the URL. So I grabbed it here, just so you know, but let's carry on here. When the person clicks on post, right, that's really not going, it is gonna be there because we are grabbing it from the form. There we go, woof. I thought I wasn't grabbing it. So we do have the ID from the form, right, from the form. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Sorry about that, by the way. And we're gonna get rid of that. So now we have all of our stuff, and let's assume that we'll continue on the post and that there weren't any errors, right? Right? So down here, right, we could do something like this. We can say, well, if the count, right, of the error bucket right, is not equal to 0, right? If it's not equal to 0, that means, well, if it does equal 0, that means we don't have any errors, right? So we can try to update the record, right? So update the record order, whatever you want to call it, update the order since form passed validation, right? So let's do it. So now we need a SQL statement that's going to update. So I'm going to put SQL equals, and I'm going to put update, right? Now, Bruce, what is the syntax for the SQL update, right? So we'll go to SQL update, and we'll just pick the first one. And here is the syntax, right? Let's just copy it, because we can work through it in our code. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it as there, okay? And now I'll just comment those 3 lines. There we go. Boy, that's ugly. So let me just indent it all and then pretty it up. Okay? So update table name. So update, and then the table name we have is, what is the table name for our pizza orders? I forgot. Localhost, PHP my admin, Kiara's pizza, customer order. Well, it's customer underscore order, right? So we are going to say customer, lowercase, update customer order. So we got that. And then we'll put the words set, right? And then the column names, right? So this is going to be all of the names of the columns we're going to update. So I got a question for you. Are we going to mess with the ID of the record? Right? So everything else, though, right, is something we need, right? So let's, so we have pizza type. So we're going to have pizza underscore type. And then it gets a value, right? So we're going to do set pizza type equals, and then we'll put a placeholder in, right? Pizza type, because we're going to need to bind that to our prepared statement when we execute it, right? So we do that, and then we put a comma, and then we put the next column we're going to update. So we did pizza type. We need QTY and payment method. QTY equals placeholder QTY, and then payment underscore method, right, equals the next placeholder, and we'll call it payment underscore method, right? Again, these are placeholders. And then we have, let's see, payment method. Then we have state, right? We have state. So I'm going to turn on wrapping. I always forget the key combination, okay? So here we go. So it's going to be state, right, equals placeholder state, comma, right? What's next? State, customer underscore name. So customer underscore name equals, and then the placeholder, customer underscore name. And then we have city, street. So we'll have city equals, and then city. Then we're going to have, did I do zip? Zip equals, colon, zip. Okay, those are just placeholder names. Did I do street? Did I do street? I forgot street. So street, the order doesn't matter. Street, and then the placeholder street, right? Street. So we got that stuff. And then we need a condition. We needed to tell, like which specific record, right, to update, where ID equals the placeholder of the ID, and of course, a semicolon at the end, right? So we have our SQL. And that looks good. Let me now, I'm going to get rid of the syntax. I don't need that anymore. So now I need to create a prepared statement, right? So I'm going to say $stmt for my prepared statement is going to equal, right, $db, right, which is the connection to the database. And then we're going to say prepare, right, prepare, and then I'm going to pass in the SQL. Now let me just test this for a second just to see how bad I may have screwed stuff up. So I'll go home, I'll go update. Oh, I knew it. Okay, undefined variable DB. Okay, so what did I screw up here? Let's see. So let's see. Oh, look at that. I got my connection below here. So I'm gonna just move that up to the tippy top. Let me connect right here, right? There it is. So now I'll reload my page. Ah, no errors. And now let me just hit like save and just see what happens. Okay, nothing happened. All right, that's okay. I'm good with that. I didn't get any errors. So that's good. So this code ran, just so you know, this code ran because it was a post, right? Just to prove it to you, I can echo out, I am posting, just like that, right? And if I hit, I need to do this again, but there it is, I am posting. So we are inside of here. Actually, no, let's move that over here just to prove it to you again. Let's do it again. And I am posting, all right? So that means we are posting, we're good. Well, we're good for now. So we need to now bind, right, to our prepared statement when we execute it. Statement, we need to bind to it when we execute, right? Execute, right? An array, an associative array that's going to take all of the placeholder names, right? Placeholder names, and bind to them, right, values, right? So pizza underscore type is going to be the first one, and that is a variable called pizza type. And then the next key pair of value is going to be, and these don't have to be in order because it's an associative array, but I'm just going to do it in the order, QTY, and then I'll put $QTY. And then we'll do payment method, and then we'll do $payment method, and then we'll do, let's see, state, right? State, and then that, and $state. And our next contestant is customer underscore name, and that's going to be $customer name. And city, right? Whoops, city, right? Equals, okay, equals, hold on one second. All right. City is going to be $city. And let's see what's next. City, zip, street. So zip is $zip. And street is that $street, and then state, right? I think we're getting there. State, right? $state, and then lastly, we need ID, right? For the ID of the record that we want to update. And if this works on the first try, I'll be amazed. So let's try it. Let's just see what happens here after I execute. Oops, I have an error here. Statement execute. It needs to be on the database, right? There we go. Whoop, is it not X? Oh, I spelled it wrong. STMT, boy. Execute. There we go. So here we go. Let's just try to change. Let's try to change meatball to just a cheese pizza, right? Let's do it. Oh boy. So let's go back home now and see what happened. Cheese! Oh my gosh, it updated. Holy moly. So let's go back here. Update. Oh, whoa, this is awesome. So you can see we have some errors to deal with, right? But we'll deal with these in a little while, right? So our data is here. So let's change it back to pepperoni, and we want 1. So I changed 2 fields, pepperoni 1, and I'll make it Bruce El Gorte. And then I'll click on save. again, I want this to do something else eventually, but home. So Bruce El Gorte, pepperoni, and 1. So let me stop the video here for now, because that was a lot. And I'll leave the code here so you can see what we did, right? And again, you probably want to go back through and see things, but I'll leave this right here and we'll fix some of the errors that we saw before. And the other thing is we're repeating code. This code right here is kind of repeated amongst the forms for validation. Maybe we'll attack that, maybe we won't, but doesn't that scream create a function? Okay. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.